other lot. The lift speeder.
You want to open up?
You're going to call it. Just call it. For a week.
7, 8.
Quite the map, put them in Nick one, yeah? You've got a lift with that, Nick. Put less in the first and I'll get a photo of that.
Right, day 2 of the Dynamite Lindholme Festival, and we're on Laurels, and I drew a brilliant peg, peg 4. First time I've been on it this year, to be honest with you. It's a fantastic peg, especially a summertime peg. It's quite deep, so my plan was to fish shallow, but when I've got to my peg, there's fish to the left hand side spawning, so I also set the method feeder up to chuck a little feeder to the next platform, knowing that it's deep, and that way if it tip goes around it's a fish in the mouth rather than a foul hooker. When the fish spawn on a lot of the venues like Lindholme, there's times where that's the only place where you catch down the banking. And this was exactly the case for a lot of the matches this week, where you couldn't really get away shallow. So with this in mind, that that was my plan, to fish the margins on the pole, method feeder and shallow if it works, and just feed that shallow line until eventually it did work, if it did. Luckily to my right hand line, and I think it's been a year since I was last on this peg, I've plummeted up and I've found quite a shallow hole to my right on a top kitting 2. two and a bit foot. So I've cleaned the vegetation away a bit, and ended up fishing in like just over 2 foot of water, which is, I'd say, it's one of the shallowest pegs on the lake now. And that's been my match really. I've started on a method feeder while I've loose fed casters out into the open water at 13 metres. And I've caught from the off. I haven't bagged up, but I've caught steady. Method feeder and maggot. And then obviously while my rod's in, I'm priming my edge line to my right, just throwing some corn in. And then maybe an hour and a half into the match when my method feeder line went a bit funny, I've gone down the margins and I've caught really well. I wouldn't say I absolutely emptied it, but I've caught, nice and steady. And the beauty about the peg is it allows me to look up the whole of the lake and monitor what's going on in the lake. And I could see that I was catching more than anybody else, so that was my match really. I alternated between corn and maggot on the hook and fed very soft ground bait. Used dynamite, green swimstin, marine halibut, same as my method mix. Wettened down quite a bit, so it's quite heavy. Fed it in nuggets. Initially fed corn, but obviously when I went on it, I've then just fed ground bait via a kinder pot. And I've just had a lovely day's fishing. Really enjoyed it. I've ended up with £157, which has won the lake. And I think, just trying to think now, I think something like £80 was second on the lake. So, quite clearly won the lake, which was good. So yeah, happy days, section win. And then the next day, day 3, I'm on bonsai. So let's see what happens on bonsai.